Alright guys, Corey here, and sorry I've done the YieldMax single stock ETFs last. This evening, honestly, these videos for the single stock tickers aren't as popular as the Ulti and other stuff, so I try to get those done first. Since we don't really have a lot of people that care to watch the single stock videos. So I do apologize for those of you that do watch them. But anyway, I was playing around for a few hours on the spreadsheets tonight, and so I do have some stuff to look at the end, some thoughts that I had, some new things I just started working on. But anyway, we will start this daily roundup here with our trades. Just a reminder that I am not a financial advisor, it's not a financial advice, and this is for entertainment purposes only. And all of these YieldMax funds are extremely risky. So, what we're going to do here is you can see there was quite a bit of trades, so we will have a lot of trades to go through. It's Wednesday. Normally I would see these type of trades probably on a Thursday, some of them anyway. But anyway, you can see here, I'll just do the total amount. Obviously, we have this broke down by the premium that they would have received, which in this case, if we look at all of those are the net short call amount and the premium amount are the same. And then, of course, for today anyway. And then we have this synthetic amount, and then we have the total trades amount. So if we look at AIYY, it brought in $1.2 million today. Excuse me. AMD brought in over $500,000. AMZ paid out $700. No trades for Apley. Coney brought in $342,000. Dizzo brought in $12,000. GUI $1.4 million. JPMO $12,000. No trades for I think I skipped Phoebe, so no trades for Phoebe, Murney, MSFO. And then we have Misty brought in $500,000. No trades for Nefli, NVIDIA, OARC, Squee, Tesla, or Zomo. But then we had PayPay there. They ended up paying out a little over $8,000. If you want to see the net assets and the shares outstanding here, and if anybody's wondering if they don't watch the Ulti videos, there were no trades on the Ulti there. I didn't notice this till now, but YieldMax has $104 million in net assets, which is right up there with AMD. Not many of those get in those triple-digit millions. In fact, what do we have? Tesla, then Coney, then NVIDIA, then AMDY, and then YieldMax. So it's moving on up. Definitely more popular than the YMAG. Maybe if Tesla was doing better, people would like it better. I don't know. I'm looking at Ulti. I wonder what the ranking is on these net assets, but I'm sure that's nothing that matters and nobody else probably cares about. But anyway, and then we can see the outstanding shares here. So if you want to look at that. And then here, if you want to look at this, this is the current stock price and the NAV price and the difference there if you want to take a look at that. It's there, but I'm going to move on. All right, if we look at today's change, so if we look at the bottom here, we can see that the S&P overall was down 0.95%, and the NASDAQ 100 was down 0.87%, so about 1% today. And then if you see here, we'll just start with YMAX and Ulti down there. Those were down 1.4 and 9 cents. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide that. And then we're going to zoom in a little bit here. All right, so if we look at our YieldMax ETFs here, yeah, I'll just go through those. Well, That's almost all of them. So I might as well just say all of them at this point because only a few of them are within 10 cents. So AIYY was down 57 cents today. AMD was down 42. Amazon, or AMZ, actually was up 11. Aptly down 2. Coney up 70 cents. Dizzo down 9. Phoebe up 9. GUI up 5 cents. JPMO was down 19. Murney down 17. MSFO down 12. Misty, how did I not see I didn't even see this one, I guess because I was too busy when I looked. I was looking at MicroStrategy itself. Misty was actually closed at $36.99, so it's back up to $37. And I don't know what it did after hours because I didn't want to look, but that actually came up $2.41 today, 7%. Right behind it was Coney at 3%, and then Nvidia at 2. But anyway, wow, I didn't realize that had come up so much. All right, and then Nestle was up 3 cents. Nvidia was up 50 cents. And OARC down 7. PayPay did not change. I feel like it's the second day in the row. Maybe not. But then Squee was down 11. Tesla down 22. And Zomo was up 15 cents. If we look at the underline, and of course, this didn't load when I copied and pasted. So let's just look it up. So that's aptly 26 and 36. So 20. And of course, it's not gonna do the percentage. Okay, so 26. And then this was supposed to be 36. All right. Sorry that I didn't catch that. I'm just making sure 26, 36. All right. So now we have all that data. So if you want to look here, this is the current IV, and then this is just the estimate for distribution based off of today's IV here. But if we look at, I need to zoom out just a little bit. Yesterday's close, current, I'm actually going to have to, well, if I close this, then I can see them. There we go. So AM, if we're just looking at the underline here, obviously MicroStrategy was the best. It was up 9%. Nothing really else. My coin was up 3%, and the rest of it's sort of dull. More red, of course, than green. AI was down 5%, and then Moderna down 4%, Tesla down 3%, and then AMD, ARC, PayPal, and Square Block were all down 2%. So interesting there. Now, if we compare the changes in the YieldMax and the underlying here, we can see that we had 12 of the YieldMax ETFs did better as far as the change for today, the percentage change, than the underlying. And then 7 of the underlines did better than the YieldMax. So the YieldMax ETF winners were AIYY, AMZ, Aptly, Dizzo, GUI, Murney, MSFO, Nestle, OARC, PayPay, Squee, and Tesla. For the underlying, the one that did better, some of them just barely better, but AMD, Coin, Meta, JPM, MicroStrategy, Nvidia, and Zomo. But yeah, because if you look at the difference column and their percentages over here, a lot of them are 0. There, I do see some 2s there. We have Moderna. So Murney only went down 1%, while Moderna went down 4%. So that was a 3%. And then we have MicroStrategy went up 9%, while Misty only went up 7%. And then it looks like obviously this is a rounded number, but OARC went down about 1%, while ARC went down about 2%. But apparently, the calculation rounded as 2. And then PayPal didn't move. PayPay didn't move the price, but apparently PayPal stock did go down here 2%. Anyway, you can see that those winners, and then of course we'd already went through that the stock market itself had went down about 1% today, so it was red. So it makes sense that we had more ETF winners than the underlying winners. This is our new recovery, which is really hard to get on this now because I've added so many columns. Of course, when I do that, it's just going to make the header. I hate it. Oh, it's because I have it filtered. If we're never changing this, so I know. Let's remove the filter. There we go. That helps us a little bit. This one, the words on that being big. If I could figure out something else to say there to make it smaller. And then I don't know why some of these things are formatted a little bit differently. But anyway, so if we look here, of course, we already know that yesterday Moderna came up. Of course, it's come down some, but it's still up. But either way, it had already recovered at 4 days, so it was number one. And then GUI got across that threshold today. I think it was under it by 2 cents yesterday, and it's now above 3 cents. So it took it 5 days to recover. So now it is the second one to recover here. If we look at percentage-wise, who's close? So we have an 89% down here. So PayPay is, 5 cents away from recovering. And yeah, that's really the closest one we have. The next ones would be these two at 65 and 66%. Of course, Tesla goes up and down so big. It's still got 24 cents to go. And Zomo, it only has 8 cents to go, but yeah. So anyway, quick look at our new little project here. Hopefully y'all like that. I just don't know if you can see it on your phone. So I guess let me know, because if we can't get it all on one screen like this, then we may have to start doing this video in landscape. We were doing it, or I was doing it in portrait because I could see you could see everything on one screen at one time. But in this case, in order to do that, I have to zoom way out. For this case, let me do this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. But y'all tell me if you can't see that the other way. And then I guess I'll have to start doing the videos landscape so we can see all that in one picture. But anyway, so I've showed this before. I just opened it up today to look at this, just to see where we're at. Of course, GUI is above its max strike price for its short calls, and Murni is above it. Of course, it was above it a lot more, but the stock is now going down. But those are the only two that are above their strike prices. We have a few others that may be close, but they're not going to get there anyway. Then, I don't know, I was just looking at data. Some of this, well, actually most of the, well, I'm going to lie here. Well, shoot, why isn't the data down there? I thought there was data in BG and BH. Let me look, because I just built those before doing this video. And then I copied it over. I guess not. All right, so, yeah, so this actually I already had on here. I've never shown y'all this one, I don't think, ever. At least AV through AX. But this is just looking up, because now this is a spreadsheet I used to use, before doing videos for my own personal use. If I didn't want to go look up every single one, I could just glance at this roll up. But this is basically telling me again, this is just the very first put. Some of these have more than one synthetic position. They have 2. I've seen 3 even. But this is just returning like that first one on the spreadsheet. And it's just sort of telling me, I'm just trying to build a story here to see if things, match up, if we can put things together. But, this right here, as far as AW, this is just taking, okay, what is the underlying price at now, but minus what our put is. So this can show, we've been talking about AIYY a lot, and we can see here, that it is underneath that synthetic strike price by $11.40, which is not good. And so AX, again, my funny column, my header is just negative equals bad. I just typed that a long time ago and didn't even try to fix that or change that today. But, and we can see, like here, that for AIYY, it's 33% below it. Of course, we'll see it on the holdings and trades if you watch that. And then, again, this is just one put. If it had more, you're not going to see that just by looking here at this roll up. That would be actually getting down and looking at the holdings. But then I was like, okay, well, how does that affect our shares, right? So then what I have here is our synthetic value per share. And of course, we know if you've been watching the trades, we know it's going to cost about $10 million to close the synthetic position out for AIYY. And it expires next week. And right now, let's look. How many outstanding shares does this one have? Ooh, I'm making myself dizzy. Almost 2.3 million outstanding shares. And right now, if we looked at this, the synthetic value of this put, and I don't think that, no, it's the synthetic value, not just the put. So if we look at the synthetic value, market value of these as of today's holdings, and then compared, to the outstanding shares, this is saying we're negative $5.51 for this synthetic position. So that just shows, like that's why the AIYY stock has gone down so much. So that where are we at? We're at $12.72. Sort of crazy, right? That's one of the big ones for me. It's like, okay, what's really going on? I want to see the numbers in front of me. I know, right, we had the general idea of this is happening, but I was just trying to paint a picture here with this so we can see it. So we have some other ones. You can see Misty down here at that 314. We've talked about, how it dropped like $8, $4 for the dividend and another $4, which now it's looking like about 3. But, just looking at the impact and just being able to see that per share dollar amount. You can even see AMD up there. It's 16% below its, strike price, and that's $3.50. Anyway, so then I built this over here, and now I sort of feel like, well, I can hide some columns. But what I did here, I was just looking at, because again, I'm looking at the synthetic position here, and most of these, all of these but Misty's synthetic positions, the last ones expired on March 15th. So it was basically that reset period. So here's just the stock price as of the close on the 15th. Here we are now. And then, what's the difference between then, what's happened since we started these new synthetic positions? And then you can just sort of see, again, AIYY and AMD right there, that significant decrease in the stock price since we've, changed out these synthetic positions. And then in columns BD and BE, I'm doing this with the underlying stock over here, so we can see, how those have come. So if I had those, just so we're looking at percentages, I do have the numbers there, so I just wanted you to see them in case you're curious. And we pull that back over here. We don't really need, I guess, that over there. But again, just compare now. I will say too, we're used to just seeing just the red numbers in green, but because I was trying to see, these across the board of these, I changed the conditional format today. I can always change it back to remove that color, but while I was playing around with this, I wanted to be able to see the cells easier by colors. And we can see at the top, so AIYY is currently $11.40 underneath the strike price, and which is actually 33% below the synthetic value, market value of that by share is negative $5.51. So, if we could get above that synthetic price again, this would just do this stock wonders, right? We might get hit on our short calls, but we would be able to come up because of this. But of course, we know this one expires next week, and I did do the earnings thing today, but these A no yeah AI yeah C3 AI, they report later than everybody else, so that won't be until maybe at the end of May, right? But the ETF itself, its difference between now and the March 15, it's down 15%. And if we looked at the stock difference, it's down 17%. Just looking at AIYY, of course, you can see the theme AMD's the same way here, being down in that time frame. Again, this isn't by ex-dividend dates and based on the synthetic dates, because this is all this is. It's just looking at synthetic data here and the strike prices and when we started them and where we're at now and how much they're worth now. So I don't know. It just something that I was playing around with. I feel like there was something else I was going to go over here, but we put a lot of emphasis right on those short calls because that's supposedly where most of the distribution is paid out from, right? But these synthetic positions that we have for those calls and the puts that make up that synthetic position, these are very important when we look at these, and I'm not sure how they decide when they want to close things out. Like the way I've seen this though, and honestly, since I've been watching all of these, I've seen us get screwed on several of them. And it basically is because I don't know why, again, I don't know the processes and procedures or whatever, or if they're just, they can do whatever, whenever mostly. But some of these, they really wait until that synthetic week or the last couple of weeks to even do anything with it, even though, it'll be 2 months and it just keeps going down, down, down. It's just sort of like if you owned your stock, right? And you're like, oh, it's going to come up one day. Oh, I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging down, and oh, it's going to come up, and it never comes up. And then we come up to that option expiration date, and now we're screwed. And that's what's happening with AIYY, and that's what happened with Tesla. And I know it's happened with several of these. So, I don't know. I I think they've closed them out maybe a week early, but I don't know if it would be more beneficial to try to close some of these out earlier or change the strike prices on some of these, not necessarily due to concentration and stuff in these, but more because we're losing our asses on them and we may continue. But again, it's just a bet. Well, it may go up, it might not go up. I don't know. Anyway, this is just me babbling at this point. It's just some things that I was playing around and thinking about. If y'all have any thoughts, please let me know. If you have any thoughts even about this section or any of the other data that I've shown you here, any of this new stuff, you just let me know. Anyway, I know this is supposed to be the shorter video and I just made it really long. I do apologize. Again, this was just me playing around with some sheets with my workbooks tonight. But I'll let y'all go so I can do the trades and holdings video for those that would like to see the detailed information. Hope y'all have a great day tomorrow, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.